All right, I think we're back. My software crashed. Apologies. So this is part 2 of the inner selfies call. So hopefully we are back live online, but I'm not seeing it connecting to YouTube. There's no picture. There we go. All right. I think we're getting reconnected. Sorry about that, everyone. Hopefully you'll catch back up with me. My software just completely crashed. That hasn't happened. At first I thought the power went out, but again, my apologies. So this is part 2 of our inner selfies conversation. No, it wasn't you. It was totally me. Thank you. I'm so glad you found me right away again. Okay, we're going to chop her head off and get our dragon started. Oh my gosh, so fun. Now my curiosity is really, is she the dragon, or is the dragon simply a companion? As I was sitting here talking about my snuggle dragon, is that dragon sitting on her shoulder watching? Cut out the rest of this moon here. You like the thought of having the dragon be a part of her instead of the doll? Me too. I'm kind of digging that. And even the colors totally match on there, don't they? So I'm thinking maybe that dragon is like a sacred guardian or guide for our paper doll here, some sort of companion with that bit of full moon there. All right, so I guess we are going to maybe create right on top of this one. And definitely wanting some of this cosmos magic energy on here. What I love about working intuitively, oh, that one's side is really cool too, like this, is that it's simply allowing the things to show up in the story to emerge, like any other form of intuitive collage. I'm not dictating the journey here, right? I'm not forcing it. I'm not intending it to be either one thing or another thing. Okay, I'm kind of digging these super, because they're very dragony, right? These sort of very fiery, cosmo-like images that kind of mirror that idea of we contain multitudes. And I can't remember who said that quote, but we contain multitudes. And then yes, sorry, Leslie, my internet, not my internet, but my software, my streaming software completely crashed. It had just updated itself this morning and it completely crashed. So I will have Brad check into that a little bit later. All right, so now that people are finding their way back, I've decided, I was thinking the dragon was going to be the doll, but it's more like the dragon is becoming a companion for our character here. And I'm going to start piecing together. I'm glad I'm back too. I was worried there for a minute I wasn't going to get back. And Miss Leslie, you were up early for you this morning. I hope it's for fun and good reasons. This is why I trace the outline of the clothes the doll is wearing. It helps me just kind of make it easier to make all the different clothes and outfits fit. Let's see. I'm thinking So I definitely want to be able to see some of these lines. So I'm going to just almost like with this pencil, I'm almost embossing the edges of the paper here. And this is her hand here, which I may paint her hands. Let's see, did that work? Yeah, it did. Hard to see in the light, but I want to sort of cut out that sleeve, or sometimes I will even just draw the lines on there. What do we have with this Sharpie? So that we can kind of tell where the folds. Aw, I appreciate you more than you know, my friend. And this just kind of gives me a guide of where the folds of the fabric are, right? So now I know, I can even come in and draw some of the folds of the sweater down the arm here, and we start to give that doll some dimension, and we can add more texture and color. It's not always that we need to, but I love that this sort of cosmic image here is right over her heart. And if I just cut this little hand out, then her hand is going to show through underneath. So that's going to work to get that hand on there. And then we'll tuck another little something something underneath there. And then I'm thinking this really yummy, fiery piece for her skirt. So as much as I love this, when I put it on here with the dragon and her red head, I'm like, not quite the right colors. But maybe I will just add some paint over the top of this to start to put it together. Or maybe she's going to have some fabric draped over her. But let's get a skirt going. Again, I'm going to probably cut out the hand, and we'll draw some lines here for the lines of the fabric. And I'm using whatever I have on hand. So if you're thinking about experimenting with paper dolls, please don't feel like you need to go buy any special materials. You can use magazine images, you can use printed images. You can use old scrapbook paper, right? Like there is absolutely no need to go out and buy any special materials. I mean, think about growing up and, most of us things were pretty scrappy when we were kids, right? And so there wasn't, what did I miss here? We didn't have like infinite access to tons and tons of supplies. So we made do with what we had. So I want to encourage you to make do with what you have at home. This is a fun way to use up scraps. Get that hand on there where I can see it. So look around and see what you have. There we go. Now I can see it. Oh, I cut that maybe a little shorter than I wanted to. Okay. We're going to make it work. Or I'm just going to recut it and pull that up a little bit. Nope, it's going to go down here. It's all fine. Okay. Unlike other types of, intuitive collage that I do, this one definitely feels a little bit fussier. Okay, I've got to be, I think, brave here and literally just get some stuff glued down so I can start to see how to put this all together. And I'm going to go ahead and glue it right to her. Sometimes I'm like, oh, but I like this one so much. I don't want to let go of it. I might want to use this image again. And right now, I think it's about, let's just let her go, knowing that she's going to be just perfect. She's got that big flowy sleeve there. Nope, I'm not loving that piece. So what I'm loving is just that little bit of cosmos right in the center that needs to be a part of the top. Like there's something about having that right in her heart that feels really good. Okay, let's get Mrs. Dragon here. It's probably no mistake that I'm feeling sort of drawn to a dragon this morning. I'm busy working on my next book all this summer, and the name of the book is going to be called Befriending Your Dragons, which was inspired by a book I was reading where she talked about how women on the heroine's journey don't slay our dragons. We befriend our dragons. And I just love that. And so when I think about all the inner parts of myself, the parts that I love, the parts that I don't love so much, I love thinking about it through that lens of, oh, she's coming together, she's fun, through that lens of how can I befriend this dragon, right? I can't slay it. I can't make it go away forever, especially when it's a part of us, right? It's, it never goes away completely. I'm wondering if we need some of this green and a little bit, and that cosmos maybe just needs to be in there but not on her. Okay, so we're gonna try this one here. And I'm definitely thinking that after I get these dolls made that I want to have some fun creating some settings and backdrops for them. Okay, that feels better. Sharpen my pencil. And I'm just using the pencil to create basically those, like my very own carbon copy papers, so I can draw some of those lines. I think what this needs is to have that, it needs to have a collar. It starts to need to have some shape and dimension. And she needs a neckline, which we've got this interesting kind of neckline here. Am I going to be able to see that on there? Interesting. Nope. Let's try. Let's see. I think I got some charcoal here. everything is a configuration, an experiment, a trial and error. This is never about trying to get it right, but just about how can I just get this going? How can I get it started? How can I trust my own process? I find so often that we intuitively know what needs to happen, and yet we don't trust our own process. So I'm looking for something like a ballpoint pen, which here's one. Something maybe a little sharper. And let's see if we can get those lines down on here. There we go. And maybe even, I don't think I colored over all of these, but we'll see. And I love so many of the characters in the beautiful models in this magazine are wearing all these gorgeous necklaces and jewelry. And so there's part of me that's thinking, I want to maybe find some beads and figure out how can I add some detail. Not quite. That's better. So now it looks like, right, she's actually wearing a top. Let's come down here, work on this a little bit more. And if this is messy for you and you don't like working with all of this lead, a great tool to have in your studio is just some graphite paper. And you can get, black graphite paper. You can also get white chalk paper, which is really useful. Okay, Minette, you totally losing your mind here, being distracted. And I got to pay attention to time. I would like to sit here and just play with paper dolls all day. It's going to be this beautiful, cool, rainy day. It's a perfect day to be able to spend the day in the studio playing, but that's probably not going to happen. Okay, there we go. Now I can see where that hand is. More or less. And then we'll start to bring her to life a little bit more. I may not finish her today. Of course, all the technology issues did not make it any easier. Okay, beautiful. All right, now she's really starting to come together. Ooh, and how much fun would it be to just find a gold pen to kind of mark out some of that flowy sleeves a little bit as well. I know, isn't it wonderful? And it's, I don't know if they know how many people end up using it for collage or not, Lisa, but my daughter was here when this recent issue came and she's like, will you just buy me one of everything in here? Their stuff is so lovely. All right, there we go. She's starting to have a little bit of character of my own design. So we're trying to alter this magazine image. I'm inspired by the shape and the faces and the figures, and even the faces I've done some drawing and coloring and a little bit of alteration on to make them a little bit more my own. Okay, very fun. She definitely needs some kind of something around her neck here. I don't know if it's going to be beads or maybe even just a bit of a fun scarf kind of draped. It doesn't need to be super busy. It's just a pretty piece of sari ribbon. And let's see, is this hole punch big enough? No, it's not big enough to reach across. I'm thinking that I'm going to punch a hole right here and have that just kind of come more around her neck. This feels good with maybe some kind of a charm on it. I'm going to gently just poke a little bit of a hole. There's something lately, I know I've said it before, but I don't know what it is about texture lately that I am just a wee bit obsessed with texture. And I'm finding on these dolls that I'm ended up gluing some of the ribbon down as well to get it to lay where I want it to lay. But I am really wanting to kind of give her some of that flow. I'm just sort of following the lines, you know, where I think her sleeve would be, but also some of the beautiful lines on this gorgeous paper. So we get a little bit, you know, of that sort of more flow happening there. Right? Just the tiniest little changes make such a huge difference. Okay, she definitely needs something here. There, I'm thinking she might even need some feathers or I don't know, but she needs some. When I think about dragons and dragon hordes, and it always makes me think of lots of wonderful, fun gold. This is just a piece of, I think maybe it's rice paper. It has some nice texture in it, but I love this beautiful gold. We got to zhuzh her up a little bit, right? Dress her up to go to the ball is how it feels, right? Is like she's sort of very confident, but and very soulful as well. There's something about her face that feels like she knows exactly who she is. And maybe we need a little piece of this on her sleeve. Oh, I love that, Leslie. I have missed you. You always have the best ideas for me. That's a great idea. I'll have to either create that dragon tail or see if I can find one online. A picture of a dragon tail that I could wrap around. That would really make her feel supported, wouldn't it? It's good to have friends that make your art better. Both my Leslies do that for me. All right, okay, love the sleeve, so fun. Love that just little bit of decoration here. And she's still, I think, needs just a little bit interesting. This page that I tore out is all about hunting. And this is probably going to get some paint on it. I'm going to put it upside down because we don't really care about the words. All right, Leslie, now you've totally distracted me and I want to go on the hunt for dragon tails. And this definitely needs a little bit of, let's try a little bit of this bronze paint on here, and I'm going to mix it with just, you're so funny. Sound like Andrea. I'm sorry and you're welcome. I'm mixing this bronze paint with a little bit of matte medium just so it's a little bit more transparent, but we still get a little bit of that shimmer on here. And I think she might need a little more of that shimmer up here as well. I don't want to lose all that beautiful green, but I want to just add a little bit of shine. And never be afraid to put paint down and then take it back up again. Sometimes yeah, that's what she needed. Look at that little bit of shimmer. Sometimes it's exactly what we need to get the look that we're going for without having it to completely take over a piece. It's a great way to create transparency. Okay, now she's really starting to come together, and I'm almost wondering if I bet I have some gold thread somewhere that instead of the sari, I could find maybe some gold thread and add a few seed beads to. All right. Something we need a little more, maybe a little bit more of this down here. If we're going to make her collage, let's make her collage. My glue stick is empty here. And I'm wanting to finish this so I can feel I'm rushing because I have another call at 8. Oh yeah, that's what it needs. It just needs some more of this on there, but those words felt important, but I may push them back even just a little bit more. Add a few seed beads to the bottom of each side of the ribbon and then attach a charm. Yep, I thought about that as well, but I may want something a little more delicate than a little thinner than the sari ribbon. Stick. When you run out of glue stick, matte medium. Okay, it needs another little words right here underneath this piece. Kind of make that fit all the way across. Maybe make that all even a little less transparent. Okay, now she's taken on a life of her own, and I feel like we're sort of bringing these bronzy colors that are in our dragon all the way through the design. So we have some coherence in the color, and nope, that's not gonna go on this one. She might even need a bigger moon. I might make a bigger moon up there, we'll see, but I kind of love where she's at, and I want to see what can I do with some of this texture. All right, there, I know this bag was open somewhere. And I may cut this piece out and have this go across her skirt. It's not quite wide enough to put all the way down, but I do like that. I love the shimmer of this on there. Yeah, her skirt needs the texture. I like it going all the way down. I'm fine that it doesn't quite fit exactly. And I think what I want to happen is that I want this to be stitched on. So I will have to do that stitching later. Let's see if we can actually draw anything on here and have it show. Probably not. Oh, yeah, that worked okay. And actually maybe what it needs is a little bit of that up by the moon as well, so I can round that off and get that attached. All right, she's not done for sure, but she's getting close, and I'm going to have some fun this evening when I have time coming in here, and I'm going to stitch this piece on. I think once it's stitched, I can trim that up a little bit more and get some of that texture. I'm going to look for a dragon tail. I'm going to figure out what to do with her beads. I'm going to trim this corner off here so that it fits around her skirt. I have to trim off the part for her hand as well. All right, that's where we're gonna leave it for today. You think that, well, okay, I won't attach the netting until I find the dragon's tail, and we'll see if, but I'm thinking the dragon's tail is going to wrap over the top of all of it. So we'll see what happens, but here is our dragon woman, our woman who is intent upon befriending her inner dragons. A little more work to do, but we're getting close. Again, sorry for the technology glitch today, and I will see you guys all next Tuesday. Thanks for joining me live. Always delightful to be with all of you, and great to have you all here with me. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys all soon. Bye, everybody.